What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we got some great news. Great update. Shout out to my brother L-Dub Boxing, dropping this new info on me. And shouts out to the team, Samson Lickowicz, for confirming this. And that's the Towering Inferno, unified WBC WBO junior middleweight world champion, Sebastian Fundora, decides not to vacate his WBO title as he's been mandated, right? As we know, he's been mandated to face off against Terence Crawford. The World Boxing Organization, President Mr. Paco, have decided to order this fight between the two. Now, remember, after Terence Crawford defeated Errol Spence, July of 2023, he petitioned once he was made aware that he wasn't getting an immediate rematch with Errol Spence as planned. Terence Crawford then petitioned to move up to 154 pounds and be the mandatory WBO challenger for then WBO junior middleweight world champion Tim Tszyu, Australian superstar boxer, right? But Tim Tszyu was awarded a voluntary defense, which he was going to do with his belt not on the line against former unified world champion welterweight Keith Thurman, right? But then Keith Thurman suffered a torn bicep. Keith Thurman was unable to perform March 30th. And they replaced him with Sebastian Fundora for the vacant WBC title and the WBO title held by Tim Tszyu, right? And so with that said, this belt was vacated by Jermell Charlo, who was the undisputed champion, right? And so he vacated the belts, Jermell Charlo. They fought for the vacant WBC belt and Tim Tszyu's WBO belt because Tim Tszyu was Jermell Charlo's mandatory. So Sebastian Fundora, 21 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 13 wins by way of knockout, 6'6" with an 80-inch arm reach, like 26 years of age. He shockingly defeated Tim Tszyu March 30th. It was a fight of the year, nasty fight. Both fighters was bleeding. Both fighters was injured. Entertaining fight, right? So he beat Tim Tszyu. So he inherited Terence Crawford as his mandatory. And he then set his sights on the man Terence Crawford beat last and former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl the True Spence Jr., who was making his debut at 154. He never got a victory. We didn't see Errol Spence in the ring since Terence Crawford stopped him and dominated him in that fight. So that was not a good look. But he set his sights on him, so the WBO said, okay, well, if you're going to fight Errol Spence, you're going to be stripped of his belt instead of fighting Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, of the mindset that Sebastian Fundora is not going to fight him, he fights the WBA champion for the vacant WBO belt that's going to be stripped of Sebastian Fundora, and fight Israel Madrimov. And the WBO then received a letter from Sebastian Fundora stating that he had an injury, and citing an injury is the reason why he could not proceed with the mandatory against Terence Crawford. So they gave him an extension. So Terence Crawford fought for the interim WBO title and Israel Madrimov's WBA. He beat him August 3rd. Now they're like, okay, what's the deal? So Sebastian Fundora is saying he wants to fight Errol Spence in December. And now he's come to the agreement, and he's come to now the place where he's like, you know what? I'm going to hold on to these belts. I'm going to just go ahead and defend them against Terence Crawford if Terence Crawford truly wants to make the fight happen. Now, they are waiting to see if Terence Crawford is going to actively pursue Canelo Alvarez, or is Terence Crawford going to go ahead and pursue him. Now, that's where the problem lies, right? Now, they have 30 days to negotiate. Now, Terence Crawford has he has to wait to see what Canelo is talking about September 14th after he beats Edgar Berlanga. That gives him enough time, Terence Crawford, to see if Canelo really wants to fight, right? If he don't want to fight, then he can go ahead and Now he could go negotiate with Sebastian Fundora. But the great news is Sebastian Fundora is like, okay, Terence Crawford is the #1 option here. We're not gonna vacate. We're gonna just go ahead and fight Terence Crawford. If Terence Crawford is pursuing Canelo Alvarez, then we'll fight Errol Spence in December. So that's great news. So now for Terence Crawford, this gives you the opportunity to fight for 3 belts, and it shortens your route to becoming undisputed. And now Terence Crawford fights Sebastian Fundora in December. He's he holds the WBO, the WBC, and the IBF, and the WBA title. Great news is Tim Tszyu is going to fight Bakram Matalia for the IBF October 19th. So therefore, if Canelo Alvarez is sidestepping Terence Crawford to fight in May, because that's the date, so he's going to look to try to negotiate a deal to fight Canelo Alvarez in May, because Canelo Alvarez fights on historically those 2 dates, tradition, Cinco de Mayo weekend and Mexican Independence Day weekend in September. If he's not looking to fight him in May, well, and you fight Fundora, see, he still can fight Fundora. Actually, Terence Crawford can still fight Sebastian Fundora in December if he wanted to, and then still fight Canelo in May, right? But he may want to start to bulk up. So here's the thing. Canelo Alvarez says, no, not for May. Now, Terence Crawford focuses on Fundora. Guess what? Early next year, you can fight the winner of Tim Tszyu, Bakram Matalia, early next year and become undisputed and still fight Canelo Alvarez in September. Great news. Shortens his route to becoming undisputed in 3 separate weight classes. And that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. I'm gone. Peace.